Hi you guys, Ginger Cook here. Tonight we're going to be painting a strawberry into some water, and I'm going to show you how to create a splash using transparent white, and we're going to talk about that, and this will be step by step. It's a great one for beginners, and I've got some advanced tricks for you other guys, and follow along and join me for strawberry with a splash.
And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist, and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylics. Oh, went to the desktop.
Okay,
So you're up in the corner.
All right, so you guys, this is an 8x10 acrylic painting. Of course, you can paint this larger, but we want to show you the simple and fun way to do it. This is an acrylic painting, and I want to encourage all beginners, don't think of this as hard. I'm going to show you the simplest way to do that, and we're going to talk about why transparent white is a must-have in your acrylic paint box of colors. It just absolutely must-have color. And what the difference is between transparent white, or what is often known as mixing white or zinc white, and the difference between that and titanium, and so you'll never forget it, okay? But again, this is we're going to show you how to freehand this on. But you know, if you just, gosh, I don't want to freehand, I just can't think tonight, whatever. There is a link down below to our Pinterest page where you can find the image and print it out if you want to. But I think you're going to love how we're going to show you how to do it. So we're talking before a live audience. I want to thank our moderators for being here to make the live chat that you see on the side of the screen.
That'd be Luann and Steffi Jane for sure.
Luann and Steffi Jane, and of course you've got John
And
Little
Judy
in the background also talking, and he will relay your questions to me. If you have a question, put it in all caps, and we'll try to answer questions throughout the show. One of the fun things about a live show is that, or one of our premieres, is that your questions get answered. So mostly.
I suppose when you email, we don't answer those.
Well, we do, but John, sometimes, but
I
then,
know.
you may have a question that the whole group can benefit from. And so I love it when we do a live show, because your questions, you may not realize this, but some question you have may be of such profound interest to some other person that they wouldn't think that they had to know the answer till you suggested it. How about that? Okay, so we have our strawberries splashing in the water. So most of you know my daughter, Cinnamon Cooney, the art Sherpa, did this as a challenge last year. She just suggested to her group that she showed them a photograph on Pixabay, free image on Pixabay, and suggested that everybody try to paint it. But she never taught it. And she and I were chatting on the phone, and she said, "Mom, you should really teach this on YouTube." But the ones that were having trouble with it probably would really enjoy it. So yes, we do know that Cinnamon was playing with this last year, and we totally have her permission to keep.
She encouraged us.
In fact, encouraged us. She sent me a list of things she thought you guys might enjoy painting, and this was on the top of her list. And I said, okay, so why not? So I'm happy to show you how to do it, and I think I can show you with a twist about why you might want to do it.
With a twist.
So we're starting with a red canvas. Just a Naphthol Crimson or Cad Red Medium, doesn't really matter. We want some sort of red canvas, and it's dry. Okay, it's an 8x10 canvas, and you hear this, you hear this thump. You hear that? That's just terrible. The thing about a canvas is you want it nice and tight, and you can, if you spray the back with water. Okay, this is cotton. This is the same stuff sailboat sails are made out of, called cotton duck, and there's different grades of it, but this stuff shrinks really beautifully, and that's what you want, a nice tight canvas. And if I'm using cold water, hot water really works well. And then if you're still not satisfied, you can hit it with the hairdryer and really tighten that up. If anybody's ever shrunk clothes in the laundry, yes, you know exactly how that works. Now, hear the thump, hear the drum sound now? Boom, bada, boom, 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 boom. All right, that's what you're looking for. Okay, so then the question comes up, well, why do this instead of painting on a canvas board, like was usually cardboard with a thin piece of canvas just glued on top? Well, sometimes there's a perception, and not necessarily true, but there's a public perception that a stretch canvas has more value in the eyes of the public, particularly if you're thinking about posting your stuff on, in which we're happy that you want to do that, on your Facebook page or something, and selling it on stretch canvas has a nice ring to it. Now, the disadvantage of canvas is that if you use cardboard, which is the little cheap cardboard canvases, they're cheaper, and even though these aren't that much, but they're good practice, but they're much more difficult to paint on. They don't take the paint in the same way. The surface is slightly different, but you can frame them very easily, just because they're very flat and skinny. You can frame them in a little 8x10 frame, maybe from Hobby Lobby or something, and they're pretty easy to frame too. So, pros and cons to everything. That was a good one, wasn't it? Don't you think so, John? Don't you think that was
absolutely
great information? So we don't
right
always
off the
cover that.
bat, it's a fountain of information.
It's a fountain of information.
Fountains. Now we understand that some people are having problems with their chat this evening. We are not personally on our Apple computer running Chrome. So either try to refresh first. If that fails, quit YouTube and come back right away, so you don't miss another exciting fountain of youth information.
Fountain of youth.
Fountain of knowledge.
Fountain of knowledge.
Fountain of information.
Yeah.
Fountain of tips.
Yeah, fountain of tips and tricks. Well, I mean, that's kind of the fun thing about a show like this that we do on YouTube weekly, is that there are questions that come up, the information that I can impart tonight at the same time we're painting something. Now, you'll notice on this, we're going to draw this on here, okay, as we chat. And again, I want to think we'll be doing a contest at the end of our show. We'll put up the entries right now for wait for this, you guys, a free 30-day of Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic painting, a free month at our Academy. And that comes with personal art coaching and access to over 300, almost 400 video lesson library lessons of art lessons. And one of our winners from last week, her mother got sick and she couldn't use it, and so she graciously donated it, paid it forward. So one of you could also win that. And so stay tuned for information on how to win.
And we just had a donation come in from Essential Touch. We thank you for that donation. Came through the PayPal system, which we prefer over YouTube because they're not greedy. Can I say that?
I guess you can. Well, look, everybody has a service, right? And
yeah, but really, 30% versus 3%.
There is a difference when you pay through PayPal. It is like 3% they charge to use, their services versus, as opposed to YouTube, which is 30%. But nonetheless, we appreciate that very much. And again,
yes, we do.
We'll probably have probably increase as the donations come in. We will increase. You'd think we were a telethon or something, but we're really not. But as the donations do come in, we will add some more.
We just like to keep paying it forward to people.
We keep paying it forward, and John and I match it. So now, we were going to draw this on. Yes and yes.
Yes and yes. Piece of cake.
All right. So out comes the chalkboard.
Oh, I love chalkboard time.
Now, what I want you to think about doing when you're painting something like this, there's absolutely no reason.
Oh, we have palm trees.
We do, but we're always using this chalkboard. For a $7 chalkboard, this is done so well, hasn't it? This was like the cheapest thing Amazon had about 5 years ago. It's still going, which is extraordinary to me.
Is that your last one?
No, I think there's another one in there. All right. So here, but it is extraordinary. All right.
Yeah, someday we may break down and get a new one.
But this is lightweight, it's kind of dumb, but it's lightweight. It kind of works.
Beth would like to say thank you for my Apple tutorial gift from you both.
Oh, yes, you're so welcome. And did you know that we have these people have asked us all the time, what's it like in the Academy? Will it work? Will my computer work on the Academy, or I can only watch videos on my phone? Or I don't know if I could watch anything on the Academy. So in our Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting, we have added
There's two
two
currently.
new videos, a third one to come, and they are free. There's a really cool apple one with the slice. I don't know if John has a picture of that we could show you, or if it's around here somewhere.
No, it's in the other room.
And it's in the other room.
It's
of
at
course
the far
it is.
end.
And then another one you'll just have. And but there is a chance if you were a newsletter, a recipient of our newsletter. There is, if you read it again, you can see how you can actually own that lesson, like owning a book. Yeah.
You can download that
You
puppy.
can download it and own it, not just watch it free. And that there's a limited number of spots for that. We haven't filled them up yet. All right. So keep that in mind. If you haven't,
Or even if you go to the Ginger Cook On Demand website and read that home page, that will also clue you in on what to do.
On what to do. Okay, Ginger Cook On Demand. All right. Check it out, because that's a way to get
Now,
a free lesson. Yes?
And I announced that we had a newsletter go out today. A lot of people on Facebook said they didn't get it. Go read Register if you didn't get it. Everybody, you need to look for us. Just do a search for Ginger Cook Live, all one word, and in your email, and somebody found it that way. Ginger Cook Live, all one word, and you should find us if we're in there. And if you're already signed up and you sign up again, you won't get signed up twice. As long as you use the same email.
We're clever that way, you won't, okay?
Yeah, and we're cheap too.
You know, it's funny because I was trying to sign up for somebody's nonsense coupon email today.
You couldn't do it,
I followed through all their stupid steps, and they said your code had expired. And it was only like 2 minutes I'd been on the phone. I'm thinking, you know, I don't want it that badly. Just, my code expired. You know what code? Why do I have to have a code? Booey on you. Yeah, all right. So, all right, we're gonna talk about the simplest thing. We've talked about this before, right? Want you to look at the strawberry, and what do you notice about it? Well, if we were to draw a line right down the middle of this.
Oh, I can't believe she did that.
Right down the middle of that, and right down the middle of this. What do we know, right? Well, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it like this, too, right down the middle here. So what do we know? Let's do that. Well, we know that the majority of the top of this is in this section right here, don't we? And we know that if we draw another line right here, just down here at the bottom, we know that the bottom of the strawberry is here. But most importantly, we see that there's an angle between here and here where the nose of the strawberry comes this way and comes on up. So then it curves here, comes here like that. Now you see how easy. I just really don't think you need to trace that on, you guys.
Easy peasy.
I mean, that's just kind of it. And somebody says, well, how are you able to do that, do that with chalk? Well, because this is acrylic paint, my friends, and it's been dry for several days. So the chalk just erases off. See? There it is. It's gone. And that's how
I panicked for a second. The sock folder in me.
What?
The sock folder in me.
Yeah, John panicked for a bit, but you know. So,
hey, Linda Harvey would like to say thank you for my wonderful pack today. I think I can finally get my painting finished.
Oh, awesome. Linda's been working on
What, 2-3 years?
the last couple of years. She's done some great things. And I want to say that, you know, we've had this selfie challenge in our Facebook club. And a lot of people took us up on it. And you got to go to, if you want to see it, either go to the selfie chapter on our, selfie library on our Facebook page, or go to our Pinterest board where we have the board of our 2019 selfie Facebook club members. And wait till you see,
it's our yearbook.
It's our yearbook. And look up Linda Harvey's one. It is terrific. I love it. It's so clever.
This took forever. Oh, hers is great.
It's great. So, I mean, you may have taken her ever to do this English landscape, but guess what? She was doing it without a reference, and this is what happens. If you
don't do this at home, people.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to just come in about what?
4 fingers.
4 fingers from here and put a little dot. Come in about a little bit past 4 fingers from there, right? All right. There's my dot.
The official measurement.
I like that, don't you? And then kind of. What do I know for sure? I know this is coming around.
Hey, my sister Nancy's in the house.
Who's Nancy in the house? Oh,
my sister.
We were just
the stranger that hasn't communicated with us or seen in ages.
Did something happen to Nancy? Because I hadn't heard from her in a long time. Nancy, John's sister, lives in Florida, and we had not heard from her in some time. So I was wondering about her. Make sure that you've got a couple fingers from the edge. Here, yes and yes.
On all edges, for sure.
All edges, and that nose is a little hang. There we go. There's our strawberry. And then start off with one leaf that's doing that. Okay, can you do that like this? Just start off with a couple leaves like that. It almost looks like marijuana, doesn't it? And then, well, I wouldn't know. How would I know that? And then nothing. Know nothing about it. But anyway.
Hey, we'd like to thank Eric for the donation. Howdy. Question: what resembles half a strawberry? Okay, we've stumped the artist. The other half. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. And I gotta say, Eric has posted a couple new one of his paintings on Facebook. I love the fish that you've done, and of course I typed that in there. Some people don't believe me. I just type things, but I do really. I'm very impressed with the newest things Eric's been painting, and Eric lives in Las Vegas, and he also
the land of the grasshoppers. Did
the
you hear
land of
about
the
that?
grasshoppers. Is it? Well, it's hot there. It's like the surface of the sun now in the summer. It's like 110, right?
And that's
So-
in the shade
Yeah.
with a
but
fan going.
It's a good thing they have casinos there because nobody else would ever come otherwise. Just
They'd be on a cruise ship instead.
they wouldn't come, right? So, all right. Now this is what we've got. So let's put some paint out, and I'll answer questions while we're talking. What do you guys think?
Can I have questions for you?
Why not?
No, I said I will have questions. Hello.
I know.
I will have questions for you. You're going to put the paint out.
I'm putting paint out.
All right. I am zooming into the palette for you people.
All right. While you're doing that, notice this is Zinc White.
Oh,
There's
no, that's one of the questions. What's the difference between zinc white and mixing white?
All right. I'm going to put.
And do I need them both?
Not really. The Zinc White is slightly more transparent than Mixing White. We'll put both out and let you be the judge.
Because we happen to have both.
Well, we happen to have both.
Please don't get them
both.
mixed up, though.
I won't. I'll just because it really. All right. There's that. Right. That's the zinc. That's the.
Transparency log.
Yeah. That's the.
Okay.
I think it's transparency, but. You know, for years I used zinc. All I ever had was Mixing White from Liquitex, and then I didn't even know there was such a thing as zinc in acrylics. They've always had it in oils, and so Golden makes it. I tell you what, as much as I paint, and you guys know, as much as I paint, I want you to know I'm halfway down on this jar, and this is, what, 4 or 5 years worth. I'd suggest buying something small of it. Just
Something
saying.
small of it?
Just
Yeah.
a big jar is kind of dumb, but, you know, we've got it, so we're using it. And then the other thing, do you know you should be dating your jars and your stuff? When you buy some paint...
I date only you.
I know, honey. I'm so sweet. So,
I derailed you on that one.
date the time, you know, write the dates down on this stuff because try to use your oldest stuff first.
Yeah.
Just a little thing.
Would make sense.
And then if you
Same
really
thing
want
like in the grocery
and,
store.
And I know it's nice to save receipts and everything for what you do. If you want to not be depressed, don't look at last year's receipt when you're buying this year's stuff. I don't know where that came from, but I'm just trying to keep everybody happy here.
All right,
you know?
we have another question. It's
Sure.
the newsletter that came out announcing just the painting. Yes, that's the last newsletter. We're going to start calling these announcements if I can get that in my head. So we do announcements on Monday. Newsletter we're going to shoot for every other Sunday. So twice a month is our goal. As I slay myself with that comment. We have also another question.
Sure.
Oh, Vimeo doesn't like me. Do not pay Vimeo to watch any of our lessons. You don't pay Vimeo to view it. After you've purchased it, you own it. Send me a contact us and I'll help you get in there. We have videos to show you how you get to it. You've created an account, you own the video. So you don't have to sign up for their monthly thing. That's if you're going to start publishing your own videos. Did another newsletter come out? No, just the announcement.
Yeah, we're trying a new thing, which is letting everybody know on Mondays that we're going to be live. Just a kind of a heads up reminder. Seemed like a good idea at the time, yeah?
That's what I thought.
Let's kill a cad red medium. Seemed like a good idea.
We're at least going to try it. I mean, so far we got 2 for 2.
Yeah, we're working on it. I mean, John and I get busy. Today, while we were busily doing things, we had some guys come out, sheetrock people, and repair the ceiling in our guest room because John's son's coming, and we didn't want the ceiling. We'd had a water leak up there some time ago, and from an air conditioner, and the ceiling was in pretty bad shape, and so we finally had those people showed up at 7 this morning, and left around 5.
Yeah, they made a full day of it.
They put in a full day for sure, which was nice. All right, let's put out a little magenta. Yeah, so, that was sort of, that was fun, but, interesting. Let's see, here's old Phthalo blue.
The newsletter went out at 9 a.m. Central, so look at your time slot accordingly with whatever time you are for our 9 a.m. Central.
Our announcement?
Our announcement. Thank you. Our announcement.
Was it a newsletter? It was just. It
was no newsletter. Nothing in there but announcement.
There's nothing newsy about
somebody will get that straight one of these days.
Well, I'll help you.
Thank you.
Listen, we got some slack. We're older, right?
Yeah, cut us a break.
We get some slack,
I live in a pressure cooker called Nola. Where's Nola? N-O-L-A.
Well, we want to give a shout out to our friend Regine in Belgium. She was telling me it was
40 degrees centigrade.
Centigrade,
and
which
that's
is 104 in Belgium.
And they don't get that weather.
And they don't have air conditioning because that's not normally something they need.
Hey, you'll be happy to know it's 111 in Phoenix right now. And I want to live there. Why?
Yeah, well, I went to school in Phoenix, and actually in Scottsdale, at high school, my senior. And of course, you start school in the fall where it's still this hot. And this was BC, not before Christ, but before air conditioning. And
they'll be back. BAC.
Yeah, and
I was back
before air conditioning. Wow.
God,
what a deal. But you know what?
Days.
I was not a dumb kid. I went out, and the first thing I did was bought a fan and put it in the room. Did you know that I boarded there? I was the only kid that figured out to do that.
Okay, that's not a very intelligent school. I'm sorry.
I know.
That's the first thing I would have done.
In case you're wondering what I'm doing, this is my tub of towels, and I'm just taking, I put all my paint out, and I'm taking this off my hands so I can kind of start with something clean. While I'm doing that, let me just, don't keep rolling. Let me go over the paints real quick. We have magenta, cad red medium, Naphthol Crimson. That's Naphthol Crimson. Here, let's do this.
Oh. We put them in the wrong place.
There. Now everybody happy?
I'm happy.
Yellow, cad yellow medium. That would be your transparent mixing white. This is your zinc white. So titanium white, this does need purple, phthalo blue, and ultramarine blue.
Pretty much our standard palette.
Except that we didn't have yellow oxide or brown out.
Why not?
Because we don't need them.
Okay.
And we may decide to put out some phthalo green.
Nancy asking, is Charlie moving to Texas? We're negotiating that he's going to come down for 4 months out of the year during the winter months up there.
Charlie's John's son.
Oh, Charlie's John's son. Oh, that's my son. That's me son.
That's your son.
He lives in Michigan.
So I said I would tell you the difference. Okay, so you ready?
Wait.
We're going to do an experiment.
Well, I got to do.
All right.
Okay.
We do an experiment. Here, in fact, let's be the last of the big spenders here.
Oh, geez, don't talk to the accounting department now.
And
She's
let's
going to put a sticker on it.
More stuff. All right, so here's going to be mixing white.
Do we have a transparent label?
Here's going to be titanium white. And here's going to be a zinc white. Look at that.
Little did I know. Look how efficient I was when I made those labels.
So now, what is the difference? All right, here is the no water on the brush now. Just not a damp brush, just a brush, right? Here is mixing white. I'm going to do it like that. Just rub it in here like that. See? Now, what do you notice about it? Is that
I can see through it.
You can see through it. Yeah. So now we'll just take a rag and wipe the brush off.
No, that was just straight mixing white, no water.
Now here's zinc white.
Nothing up your sleeve.
Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. And it's similar, isn't it?
It's a little more opaque.
It's actually a little more opaque than the mixing white, isn't it? I thought it was the other way around, but I lied. Okay.
No, I thought you told me the mixing white was going to be, the transparent white's going to be, isn't? Okay, is the transparent white the same as the mixing white?
No, transparent white is...
okay, wait a second.
No, transparent white is mixing white. They call it mixing white. This is called transparent mixing white.
Yeah,
see
so that's
label?
the mixing white.
That's the mixing white, and this is the zinc.
And you told me that the transparent white was going to be thinner, more
but actually, I thought it was the zinc, but you can see it's really...
But see, you were right.
Yeah. So, all right, now here's titanium.
Well, that's pretty darn opaque. I can't see through that one. You can't even thin it down. You can't
So
see through it.
everybody think about, remember that saying when you were a kid, your brother said, or somebody said you were standing in front of the TV and they couldn't see, you're a better door than a window, even
Yeah.
though you are a pane.
Yeah.
The mixing white and the zinc white are panes, and this is the door.
Cute.
That's cute, right?
All right, let's move on.
Now, as long as we're doing that, no, because this
Oh,
isn't the
there's
case.
still more.
I'm going to show you the difference between phthalo blue and ultramarine blue, all right? Now, this is important too. As long as we're doing this, we got a little more room here. Let's just take let's draw a line here. All right, because this comes up all the time too. And these are the things you really need to know, just like kind of how to spell. You really need to know this. So here's phthalo blue.
It's a great blue.
This is phthalo blue right here, okay? Now watch what happens when I put white with it.
Isn't that a great color?
And if I add a little yellow to it,
Well, look at this.
I get a teal. See, isn't that beautiful? Look at that teal green.
Gorgeous color.
Now, this is important stuff, you guys. We'll get around to painting the strawberry. Somebody bitches. Well, sorry. I'd want you to know this, you know, because I don't think you're having trouble painting the strawberry. All right. Now, here's ultramarine blue. Now, basically, when you put them kind of close together, they don't look that different, do they? This and this?
No, they don't.
But when you add white to them, look at the difference.
Huge difference.
And when you add a little bit of yellow,
Totally different green.
you don't get
You don't get the pretty
sort
green.
of an olive green, see? So you cannot ever get this color or this color using ultramarine blue. Okay? You just can't. So that's why you want phthalo blue. And you want phthalo blue if you're buying Liquitex, the green shade, because they've got one that does red thread, that has a red shade that totally throws you off. So you want green shade if you're buying Liquitex, but otherwise everybody else pretty knows this is what the mixture of phthalo blue is, right? Now, let's just for the fun of it, now we're rinsing, right? Let's take some zinc white and some ultramarine blue. Here's our zinc white with that. Okay. You see, you still have to. You can tint your mixing in zinc whites. Okay. And here's the zinc white with the phthalo. Do you see how much lighter it is? Do you see how this blue changed between here? And you really see it here, don't you?
It keeps it more blue. A stronger
It kept
blue.
it more blue.
A lighter but stronger.
There's a lot of artists that will do a whole painting just using the zinc or the transparent white for their whites and then just save their titanium for the end. Just something to throw out there with you and really confuse you. But you can see that to get this color, why you must have either zinc or mixing white in your palette.
Can't I just add a gel medium?
To mix it. Can you add a gel medium to titanium white?
Titanium to make it?
No, because that's not how it's made. And you really can't. In fact, even Matisse has come out with a mixing white now, or zinc white.
They finally broke down.
They finally broke down because you just absolutely have to have it. Oil painters have 7 different whites. They have
how
like
many
a
whites
range
do we
of 7.
have?
We've got like mixing white, buff titanium, and zinc or mixing. We've got like 3.
4 at best.
You know, best.
Well, we want more.
So anyway, that's why you want to know that. Yeah.
So should I buy mixing white or zinc white? If I can only buy one.
Whatever you can find. I just whatever you can find. Either one's fine. Whatever you can find. I would say either one would be fine. Just whatever's closest. And at this point, again, you can buy a little tube of this, and if they sell Liquitex near you, you can buy. You know, when your store near you, can buy that. Golden makes a zinc. Okay. So whatever's handy. All right. That being said, we're going to go ahead and paint the. Let's just go ahead and paint the leaves on our strawberry first, okay? So I'm going to take some yellow and phthalo blue, mix a bright green here. See that? Add a little bit more yellow to it, and take a little zinc white and put in it. There we go. This is this nice light green. I'm going to come on up here. Just go ahead and paint this green leaf in here, like that. And like that. You can use your little angle brush. Here, let's put another one here. Okay.
We'd like to thank Janet for the donation that came in through the PayPal system.
Oh, Janet, thank you
We
so
have enough
much.
to now. We'll have 2 30-day memberships to give away this evening.
Wow, you guys, and that's with personal art coaching. We no longer offer a 7-day membership in our academy. You no longer get that, but you can get those
that has
free
gone
videos.
the way of the dodo bird.
Those going to be those 2 Apple videos to test it. But other than that, we're strictly by the month or annually. When you buy an annual membership to our academy, you get almost 2 free months doing that, by the way. So, all right, so those are just kind of sitting there, just sort of, I'm placeholding for my stuff. Does that make sense? I'm just placeholding for that. If I wanted to make that darker, I could add a little more blue to this one. Just pure blue. Now watch this. I'm not just going to add this. I'm going to say I'm going to add a little bit more blue to this one. Then I'll put a little yellow. You can mix colors right on the canvas if you want. Look there. And I'll just, there you go. I'm going to say that. I want to make that one a little bit darker. There you go. There we go. All right, so that's all we're going to do with those. Now we're going to change brushes and get a bigger brush. And we're going to go ahead and fill in the background. Now the background is going to be, we're using a large angle brush, but you could use a bright brush. These, I've just gotten so happy with these. This is a, what is this, John? Oh, I can never read anything.
That's a 5/8.
5/8, yeah.
I can tell from here.
So I'm going to do a little purple and ultramarine blue, and come around here like this, and just a little bit, about 50-50. Okay, we're doing ultramarine blue and purple. We're just going to come around the outside of our strawberry and paint this dark. That's kind of easy, right? Yeah. So any questions while we're painting?
Yeah, there was one question that came in through the email. I got a couple on the email, but one question came in from somebody who says, how do I get a discount to buy the lessons? We're talking about the downloadable lessons. If you are an Academy member, an active Academy member,
just tell us which lesson you want to buy.
You have to email us before you buy them what lesson you want. I have to know which lesson, because each lesson gets a special link for you at the discounted rate. And the discount's running anywhere from 20 to, I think we have one at 40% off. So it does save a few bucks. If you are a member, that is another advantage of being a member.
We can't go back and reimburse you.
No.
If you buy it without
If you buy it
asking
without getting the discount first, it's out of our control. Now, I had a
you
couple other emails come in. Do you prefer painting on canvas sheets or stretched canvas or the cardboard canvas?
Didn't we cover that at the...
Well, you kind of did, but you didn't really go into the stretch canvas, I mean the sheets, because we use the sheets quite often.
Well, I like the sheets because they're small, 6x8, and they're real canvas. They're not like the canvas that's on cardboard. The canvas on cardboard is really cheap and thin, and it doesn't have a nice texture. I just hate it, but basically. What I like to do if I'm painting on a piece of the cardboard is I will coat it first with modeling paste, let it dry overnight, and then paint on it. That is the best way to paint on that. So personally, they're not my favorite. The other thing, you know, sometimes you'll see a tablet that's really plastic. It says for its acrylics, and it's actually plastic. Do you see how this? Don't you love how this brush is knifing it in right here? Isn't that cool?
It's just slicing those leaves.
Look at that. Isn't that kind of cool? And I'm going to take a little bit of phthalo blue down here. Okay, just down in this area. Put another little coat of phthalo. Okay. Now this is sort of fun. We're not going to do a lot here, but what I can do with some zinc white right here, some zinc white, is I want to come here while this is still wet and you do one stroke with the paint on the brush. Watch this. You go this way, lift up, get another bit of paint. This way, push a little harder, lift up, push a little harder.
Airplane taking off.
The airplane taking off. And we're not going to do too much more because it's not going to change it that much. Okay? So that's all we're going to do with this.
We're done?
Now.
Painting's done.
No,
Join us next week and we'll continue this painting.
So now I'm going to rinse the brush really well. And when you rinse your brush, be sure you're touching the bottom of the container. Don't just slosh it around on the top. Touch the bottom of the container. Wipe it off on a towel. Do it twice. Make sure you've got the paint off, particularly if you're changing colors. Now, I want it a little bit darker on this side of the strawberry, a little bit lighter on that side. So I'm going to start with the with just my Naphthol Crimson, which is your red in your color wheel. And I want you to see how much paint I'm using. See that? So I'm going to come
I
around.
never used an angled brush till ginger. Now I can't live without them.
I know. You know what? These are fairly the last, say, 6 years new to me. I never had one either. And once you discover these, you can't go back to the others because you know what it is. We all get a little lazy. You can do little skinny lines. You can do little fat lines. You can twist them around. They're just absolutely great, aren't they? Just tell you what. So as I come up here like this, and you see I'm just kind of smoothing this out. Now, as I come up this way, I'm going to get a little magenta, and I'm going to start up here like that with a little magenta and a little bit of zinc white, like that. I'm going to come up this way. I don't want it too light, but I want it a little bit brighter up here. Let's try a little bit of cad red medium and zinc white here too. Just do a little bit. That'll lighten up this red a bit. Okay, on this side. So a little bit of zinc and a little bit of cad red medium. Yeah, there you go. Let's try a little magenta in that too. Let's do some mixing white. That's pretty. Lighten that out there. I'm going to mix these reds up. And then where they kind of meet in the middle, we'll just brush that out.
What about linen on the cardboard? Is that bad too?
Well, the linen, if you look at the linen, the linen was sort of nice, but they have said that it's only for oil paint. If you read the directions on the linen on the cardboard, they say it's only for oil paint. And I don't know why, because I've asked I asked Daniel one time, because I did kind of like the linen on the cardboard. I did like it.
Yeah.
And he said, oh no, you can only use that for oil paint. Well, why? Well, he didn't give me a good explanation. So I can't.
That's a question. Yeah,
I'm conscious I can't recommend something with acrylics that they actually tell you in the label not to do. Though I've done it and found it quite satisfactory. And I have no idea what the taboo is. Here's a little more magenta up here. Does that make sense? Coming up here on this part, let me wipe this off. Magenta and transparent mixing white. Let's do that. I want it just a little bit lighter up here.
You said you do the modeling paste on the cardboard. Why not just gesso it again?
It's not the same. The modeling paste is thicker, kind of like peanut butter.
Do you keep it thick, or do you keep it textured, or do you smooth it?
I don't keep it textured. I try to keep it very smooth, but it has an absorption value to it that gesso doesn't have. There's something, you have to try them both, and you'll see what I mean. You'll never go back using the other stuff. Here, let's just lighten this up. All right, so we have to dry everything now, you guys. This is as far as we can get with our strawberry before we dry stuff, okay? All right. Wait. John is going to do something. All right. While we're doing,
Wait.
I'm waiting, yeah.
I've got to find my commercials.
John, all right, so.
Oh, we'll do this one.
All right, we're doing important messages why I
No,
dry
wait,
this.
wait.
I'm going to say this. I hold my hairdryer about 1/4 of an inch on high heat above my canvas, just in case anybody wanted to know that. And then I finish it off with the cold air.
Wait a minute. Linen pads come in both oil and acrylic now. They use a different gesso.
Oh, well then I prefer, if you were going to buy anything, do linen. And I'll tell you something else about linen. If you're selling something, and you know, it's competitive to sell artwork. So you've got a painting in a gallery, and you say acrylic on linen sounds so much snottier than acrylic on canvas, doesn't it? Yes.
And we always go for the snotty factor.
When in doubt, I mean, people say, when do you buy actually linen canvas? Whenever it's on sale. Stretch canvas, because yes, it's very smooth and nice to paint on. It has a much higher resale value. Just saying, when your artwork, just those. Little shout out to Eric there, who sells a lot too. And you know, those of you who are doing portraits, you want linen is superb.
All right, here we go.
Okay. So in order for you to see this video, you had to get up on YouTube, and if you didn't have internet, like, you can't watch it, right? But sometimes we don't have internet. Maybe you're traveling and you want to be able to paint and sit there with your laptop or your iPad or your phone, and you want to sit out on a campground somewhere, or maybe go visit relatives and they live out in the boondocks and don't have good internet, and you want to still paint. Well, that's one reason, and just one of many, but certainly one great reason why you want to check out our downloadable videos that you can buy and own forever, and keep playing back, and no a monthly or weekly subscription necessary. You own it forever, and we have some fabulous titles that I know you're going to love, and some aren't even in our academy. They're exclusively for our downloadable website. So check out. What's the website?
Ginger Cook on Demand.
Ginger Cook on Demand. I knew it. I just had a senior moment there. See you then.
What are you looking at?
I don't know. I'm thinking. I'll do the thinning around here, Bob Louie, and don't you forget it. Remember that?
Oh,
Deputy
I do.
Dog?
I do remember that.
Deputy Dog. I love that. I'll do the thinning around here, Bob Louie, and don't you forget it. I think I need somebody called Bob Louie. I love that name, Bob Louie. Okay, so.
All right. So we have questions as things go by.
Okay.
Do you put modeling paste on every canvas instead of gesso? No.
No.
Only the
little canvas, cheap canvas, horrible
boards,
canvas
which we never
boards that I
use,
hate.
so you won't ever see us really doing that.
But just saying, if you were going to do it, that's what you would do. And, it's a good thing to do. It's also, on a piece of, for instance, say you were painting on wood.
That's a good example.
Too. Like wood, too, is good.
Now, we have a lot of new people. I have a question about glazing. What's the real purpose of glazing, and do you do it?
Yeah, we actually have
glaze all the
videos
time.
on glazing. I've got some river rocks on YouTube. We talk about how to glaze, and while we're doing that, we're going to do a little dry brushing right here. Okay, if you'll notice here, there's some darker spot here in the strawberry down in here, kind of this section. And so what I want to do is take a little bit of Naphthol Crimson and a tiny bit of ultramarine blue, and I'm going to make this darker color. It's alizarin crimson is closest to, would be a close color to, you could use that instead of this. And I have no water on the brush, and I want you to watch what I'm doing. Got to make sure I have enough paint. And what I'm doing is just dry brushing this on. I don't want a big dark spot, but I do want this darker red color, you see? And I want to just come along here like this and suggest that this is a little bit darker right in here, down toward the bottom. Now, here's the thing. I don't want necessarily this line here. So then I will wipe off the brush and get a little bit of cad red here. This is the second coat of paint on this painting. And so now I've got some cad red. And you see how I'm putting it down here on the bottom, kind of blending this in. A lot of red, if you want your reds to really pop, okay, do a couple coats. This is not necessarily true of anything else, but reds are the kind of colors that look better if you see them twice. So here's my magenta coming on the top side of that, and I'm going to get a little bit of our mixing white and magenta, and I want to just do this. I'm going to make some circles here. See, I'm going to do that, and a little bit of cad red medium and the transparent white. There you go, a little bit more of that. Okay. Okay, now I'm just wipe off the excess paint, and just using circles, making tiny little circles, I'm just blending this in. Do you see that? And this is how I'm getting this sort of luminous color, and I'm getting the shading without. It's with two layers. Do you see how we're doing that? Maybe here's a little bit more Naphthol Crimson. We'll put that on here, and I just want this spot a little bit darker down here at the bottom. Okay. So that's a little trick on reds. So then you'll notice that the strawberry has some seeds, and also I want to just change this shape a little bit right here. Let's take a little bit of, here, let's just come up here with this shape, right up here. Just that dipped a little bit more than I want. There. Okay, so now I'm going to take a smaller brush.
Now, when you were saying dry brushing,
yeah, which is really, the brush has no water on it whatsoever. Did you see how we did that? And we've got a video on that, on how to do a background for a still life, like Van Gogh's backgrounds for still life. And there's a whole video on how to do this type of technique where you blend all this stuff together. It's one of the steps you absolutely need to know to be able to do further things. Like, for instance, I've got a painting. If you could back up a minute, John.
Oh, wait a minute.
I've got a painting that we're going to be releasing in our Art Academy later toward the end of the month. All right, this is one of our newest tutorials. On an 18 by 24 inch canvas. You ready for me?
I am.
And here it is. And I want you to see the background and how this violin is done. And the books are all done with that technique I just showed you on the strawberry. Isn't that neat? So that's the kind of thing you want to be able to learn how to do. And the strawberry is a good place to practice it. But you have to have one layer of paint on there first, and then you keep going.
Oh, it definitely does not work on raw canvas. It
So
usually
that
takes
is
a
what we
couple.
call an ultimate lesson. Our academy has lessons for the very beginner who's never picked up a paintbrush.
Called introductory.
Called introductory, which is why you can test that out with our free video there, the apple slice. And then we go clear up to the ultimate tutorials. Taz was our lion was this week's. He's over there. I can't reach him. I have to get him later. Was one of those. Now on the strawberries, one of the things I think I can do is add the seeds. What I want you to do is kind of vary them. I want to take a little bit of this darker color that we had, this color right here, and I want you to just start here and kind of stagger these a bit. Don't put them in a row like that. Stagger the seeds on here. So I'm kind of putting them in a row. I don't want to do that.
I would put them in a row.
John would put them in a row.
And I wouldn't mean to, but it just happens to be that way. There's people that just, that happens.
There, we're going to do
Joyce just downloaded the apple and slice on her Kindle, and now she can't find it. There's a program called something.
We come up this way on it too, on the kind of come up from the bottom. Twist these. They don't keep going straight. They kind of come up this way.
Email me use the contact us on that Kindle question, because there's a program you can do to find it. It's a freebie.
All right, so you see the strawberries. You see I've got my seeds. Now, a little tricky thing about unknown thing about strawberry seeds is that there's always a light spot near it. So we'll take a little of this kind of peach color. We're going to make a peach color, which is red and white and yellow. Okay. And now next to the seed here, we're going to just add, this is still wet, we're going to add a little bit of this color. We're using the mixing white, the transparent mixing white, so it's a little more subtle on our seeds. And just on one side of them, we're going to do this light color here. A little bit of yellow, kind of a peach colors actually, like that. You don't have to do them all, but just do a few. There, to just indicate. There, we'll just do a few in here like that too. You're not going to really see them so much here, and then I'm going to maybe make these a little bit, a couple of them I'll make a little bit more.
Hey, moderators, go ahead and put the link out for the giveaways tonight, please.
Here we go. So be sure to enter, okay? So, see, I've got my seeds in the strawberry now, yeah? Now, a couple of these are going to be a little bit lighter, so I'm going to go into just a little bit of the white, and I'm going to add a little dot of color in a few, just a tiny bit of white, just that might be catching the light more than a couple others, like that. Okay. Now, that's pretty easy, yeah? So, what's interesting is the outside of our strawberry, it's not a solid line. You're not going to outline it, but you're going to suggest, and don't stagger it too evenly, but you're going to suggest that there might be a little bit of a light line, and we're using a transparent zinc white for that. Going to come on up here and just kind of come around here on the bottom.
Hey, we'd like to thank Jamie for the donation that came in through the PayPal system. Greatly appreciate that.
Oh, thank you very much. Jamie, that's very kind. Thank you. All right. This was a little different. I got to get my cardboard. Where's my thing here? Oh, where did the... Oh, no, I just dropped my brush. That's not a good thing.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for my...
Okay, I need a little more. Is it bigger than a bread box? Bigger than... Okay, and it's the chalkboard.
My chalkboard, that's it.
Back.
Oh, yes. Yes and yes. Okay, well...
Gee, somebody came over and cleaned up. How could that possibly be?
Well, then that's why I couldn't find it. I knew where I put it. Then after
yeah,
that,
okay, wait. In all fairness, where did you think you put it?
I'm not answering that trick. That's a trick question, you guys. You know it's a trick question.
You're pleading the fifth. I can see it already.
It's a trick question. You don't ask. You don't. All right. So now, all right. Let's just talk about the strawberry for a minute, okay? And I just dropped my brush on the floor there.
And you need that brush?
Possibly, yes. All right, so now what happened, and this was my reference photo, which you're not seeing, except you're seeing
they
it
are.
here.
You're seeing that
yeah,
one.
you're seeing this one, is that these are sort of loops that are coming down. I didn't quite understand it, but it was a photo, the real photo, so I have to believe them. So there was this layer of loops that came down from the top, and they kind of went this way. And then they were sort of staggered. You saw something like that. And then on this side, they went that way, okay? So they didn't come down too far, but those are the loops. And that's what I'm going to be putting in, and I don't want you to panic. I'm going to put this in the trash can where I can reach it. All right, so now I'm going to take, again, the zinc, and I'm going to, just using this angle brush, I'm going to come down here like this. And I don't necessarily even have to complete the loop or draw the whole thing. Maybe this one will be a little bit bigger. I'm very touching it, just using paint. I'm using paint just on one side of the brush too. Maybe I haven't ever explained that, and if I haven't, I apologize. Okay, I've got it just on one side of the brush for a deal like this. Here we go. Here are these little loops, and then as we come down this way, gravity takes hold. Remember, this is water splashing. Think of gravity. Now on this side, apparently it's all chaos, and the water is taking hold, and the loops are a little bigger, and they're down here like that, and then there's some sort of little flatten out the brush. Be sure to do that so you get your good zinc here, right? Now, now this side of the strawberry, believe it or not, it's got an outline. Like that. This side's outlined, where this side is not, okay? Now, as long as we're doing this willy-nilly, I want you to come up here and just take this and do like a little, like quotation marks, right? Or just sort of do a little boppy thing here. Vary the height of these, or rather the width of these. And there's some little tiny ones like this. Okay, and then there's one. So what I need now, and I can kind of show you, it may help you to draw it, okay? What I need now is for this, I need a whoosh to come here around the front, like that. Okay, draw it with chalk if you need to. And it's going to come around like this, and it goes kind of wiggly up here like this. Remember, splashes change every few minutes, so it doesn't have to be exactly like mine. Every second, every nanosecond. So well, I've got that coming this way, and then I've got one that's coming up. Oh, you're not going to see it. It's going to kind of up like this, and then back over here, and then back over here. Now, as long as my red's dry, I'm in good shape. So I'm still in my transparent white, and I'm going to just, first off, we're going to, before we do that, we're going to do this. We're going to take some transparent white and ultramarine blue, right? And make this sort of light blue color. You with me? And we're going to come in here like this, and like this, like that. So this is your transparent color. And I'm going to come down around here like this, and then on this part of our strawberry, before we do any of the tricky stuff, now I've got more of the transparent white on my brush. I'm going to come up here like this. Now what's happened? What happened? What's happened is I ran into wet red. So I cannot complete this step because this red is still wet right there. I can do other stuff, but I can't do that.
Hey, Jules would like me to say, tell Ginger that I painted two-tone seeds on the strawberry rocks. She'll know what I'm talking about. What's the secret code?
No. This
secret code
listen,
going on.
Jewel, I'm gonna out you. I'm sorry, because this is such a great story. Well, I'm doing this with the
Nice going,
mixing
Jules.
white, right?
You're being thrown under the bus, kiddo.
Here's a little bit of the phthalo blue and the transparent white. You ready for this? I want to come this way with just some lines going like this, right, like that, just before I dry it. So Jules' mother was planting strawberries. Okay. Make sure you have some of the dark still showing through, right? And I'm going to do something like this up this way. Here, so just very little paint. This is the phthalo blue on this side. Okay, all right, so Jules' mother was planting strawberries, and I don't know how she found out, or maybe she invented it, we don't know, but she asked Jules to paint her some rocks that look like strawberries and paint them red with the little seeds. And what they did was, when the little green leaves showed up, they put those little rocks around the strawberry plants, and the birds came in to eat them. And of course, you can't eat a rock. And then they thought the strawberries, when they started to actually ripen, were like the rocks, and they didn't bother them. Ah, is that clever or what?
That's very clever. So it was a scarecrow strawberry crow.
Yes, like a strawberry. Now you see how I'm going up here like this?
That's kind of cool.
Up here like that with this color, but I'm kind of avoiding that wet red. You see that? All right, gotta do that. Avoiding the wet red. Okay.
Doug would like to know, why do you put paint only on one side of the brush?
Well, Doug, that's a good question. Why would you do that? Well, let me show you what happens when you don't do that. Okay, so I want a thin line. Doug's a great question. So here's some titanium white, and I've just got it on one side of the brush, and I want a thin line. You see, and if I do this, I can push down here like this. And sometimes I do it, but if I've got it painted on both sides of the brush, it's much harder to get that thin line. See what happens? Okay, just is. Now, if I want to do this, then paint on both sides of the brush, that's dandy. But if I want a thin line, if I do it just on one side, hold the brush vertically, push it flat, hold it up vertically, push it flat, I can turn it around there, like that. That's why. Excellent.
Boy, you had an answer for that, didn't you?
Well, I mean, that's a bit, if you don't play with the stuff, how do you know? So and people never tell you how much paint to put on a brush when. It depends on what you're painting. Sometimes you want no paint on the brush. A lot of times you'll see me put paint on the brush and then wipe it all off and then start. If it's not enough, I'll get a little more. But you can, and then sometimes I see where people don't use enough paint. All right, before we finish any of this, let's just lighten the strawberries. We're going to take the yellow and the phthalo blue and a bit of titanium white now, and we're going to make a nice light bright green, a little bit more yellow.
Is Ginger using a humidifier? Her paints don't seem to be drying out while she's working.
No, I'm not. No.
Sometimes we do, but today we didn't.
All right, so I want
it's a little
this top
baby
of this,
oil diffuser.
Strawberries light. Yeah, we're not using anything today.
Enter the contest one time only, please. Multiple entries are not allowed.
All right, I'm going to come up here with the
Thanks for asking.
Strawberry leaf right here like that. That's my lighter section. And I'll just get a little bit more blue here to make this the darker side, right? Okay, and I want you to see the difference between, I did this other one with phthalo blue, phthalo green, as opposed to mixing the green. I want you to see the difference. If you want something really bright, if you want your green to just step out and scream at you, let me show you what phthalo green does. Because sometimes, like on a strawberry like this, sometimes you want a bright color, okay? So, I mean, we're pretty close. Can you see that? We're pretty close. I'm pretty close just with yellow, but look what happens if I do yellow and phthalo green and white. It's almost iridescent. Do you see how much brighter that is? And if I just take some more white with that, I want something very light up here like that, or up here like this, or like that. Even if I add a bit of yellow to it.
Oh, that was very clever.
See? Yeah, I'm going to put a little leaf right there too. So somebody says, when do you want phthalo green? Sometimes there are times when you want something so bright, and phthalo green will do it for you. They're very similar, but can be effective. So just figured I'd show you that as long as we were doing the green leaves. Now, green is pretty strong color, so I'm going to wipe it off, clean off my brush. And we'll keep going with this. John, what are you doing over there?
I'm getting ready to do a giveaway.
Oh, John's giving a giveaway. That's
well,
cool.
I can do that.
Yeah, you should do that, John.
The accounting department told me I could do that.
Perfect. All right. So while John's working on the giveaway, we're going to work on the splash. All right. You ready for this? So I'm going to take the zinc white, right? And I want to come starting here. I'm going to start the just the paint on one side of the brush, but there's quite a glob on this side, yeah? And I'm going to start it right about the nose. I'm going to just widen it up like this. All right, now let's just do another little layer. Okay. See how you can kind of see the red through that? Now we're going to do a very, very thin layer here, almost pink like this. We're going to come up here like this, and we want to come like this, holding the brush pretty flat, and we're going to just sort of splash some of this around here like that. And we're using the transparent white so that you can see through it, yeah? Yes and yes. Like that. And then as long as we're in that kind of mode where it's a little bit of pink, we might do some of this like that, just a little bit of odd splashes here and there, yeah. And then underneath that, okay, so then I'm going to take titanium white now, make sure I don't have any green in it, because this is different now. I want you to see it. I'm going to take the titanium white, flatten the brush. Now I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to go back up here and zigzag this. And I may not get very far before I have to get more paint. Now this is where you could do very well with a fluid acrylic would work really well with this. That would give you a nice line, but we're not going to do that. We're going to just keep going with this. We're going to come up, we're going to zigzag here like this, underneath this, and we're going to come off like that. All right. All right, so far so good. Now, what do we got going up here? We got, up here like this. Zoom, zoom, zoom. All right, you have to see the difference between the titanium white and the zinc white, and we're going to put some light colors going this way, coming across. Paint again just on one side of the brush like this. Now here we're back to the zinc. We want to come up here like this. From here we want to continue this splash up here like this. Brush is wide, but look, it's very translucent. And we're going to come on up like this. Now we're going to twist the brush so it gets very skinny, like that, and come around this one like here.
Congratulations to Deb Troxell, Troxell, winner of a 1-credit downloadable lesson. An email will be coming your way after the show.
Oh, congratulations. All right, so there we go. There's that.
And we'd also like to thank Arthur for the donation, and also Andrew, who had a comment.
Andrew, good thing you showed up here, darling. I haven't seen a painting from you lately.
Oh, you're in the doghouse?
What happened? Is he not painting anymore? Is he just, I haven't seen anything from him?
Were you mean to him last time?
I don't think so.
Okay, just
Maybe
checking.
he's afraid to send something in, right? I know Andrew's busy, but...
Nice to see you tonight. Looking forward to that violin lesson. I bet you'll see that a lot.
Well, you know what I think about the violin lesson is that I'm not a music person. You can tell when I keep calling it a guitar when I'm in the video. But I understand that music is really important to about half the population. I mean,
don't get it. It should be art.
And music is and when you paint musical things, musical instruments, I think it's nice to have things in your house that sort of reflect who you are.
Your personality.
Your personality. I have a lot of paintings about books because I'm an avid reader. And, you know, I think we gravitate to the stuff we're about. Somebody is going to paint her husband a golf course painting for a birthday. And then one of my caveats with that was, oh, I know, with the golf course. Cinnamon and I are going to be doing so it came up, Cinnamon and I are going to do a golf course. I forgot to tell you this. Cinnamon and I are going to do a golf course back to back. Maybe it's next. I don't know when we're doing it. we'll have
Okay,
to,
would you like to expand upon what it is you're doing to see if I'd like to even participate?
yeah, what we're doing is a collaboration, and she's going to paint a golf course. I think it's going to be on a Monday night. We agreed on that. I can't remember if it's next week or the week after. I think probably the week after next week, since I don't remember, but that's why you want to keep in tune. But she'll be painting a golf course. We're at 7:30. She'll start at 6 and do her golf course, and I'll do my golf
Okay,
course.
when you say the golf course, are you doing all 18 holes, or are you just picking a hole?
I don't know. I haven't even found the reference photo yet, but we're both doing golf paintings of some kind, some sort of golf course. And I was going to tell you a funny story about that, because years ago I did a big painting, like 48 by 60, of this beautiful, I thought it was Augusta, was what, you know, because I've seen the TV shows about that.
The TV shows. It's called The Masters.
Yes.
The TV shows.
And I liked all the flowers they had. So I did this really pretty painting, and on one hill I stuck a flag, and the gallery said, "Everybody loves your painting, Ginger, but no one can understand how anybody could play this hole." Since I don't play golf, I just stuck the flag artistically where I thought the flag should go. They said, "We can't sell this painting because we have this giant debate about whether it's even a playable hole. We don't know what you were thinking." I'm thinking probably not thinking at all. So
Not thinking golf, that's for sure.
I thought it would be very handy to go around a golf course with someone that actually played, sit in the golf cart and take photos of things that actually would make a good painting. But that being said, John is a good avid golfer, or had been in his youth, and misspent youth, and and Cinnamon's husband, John Cooney, also plays golf. So I think we'll be able to come up with some pretty good golf paintings for you guys. Just
At least the hole it'll be playable, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, right? So that was the funny thing. Okay, so sorry, I had to share that with you.
Oh, you slay me, lady. You
So I
slay
forgot to
me.
tell you that. You know, you know, it's hard to live in the same. You know, it's amazing. We don't. Here's a little titanium white.
All right. So with the last donations that came in, we have kicked our 30-day memberships giveaway to 3 this evening. Thank you, one and all.
Wow, thank you very much, you guys. That's so terrific. All right.
So I hope Deb got word that she's the winner. I don't think I've seen anything from Deb, but congratulations, like I said, an email will be coming your way.
Yeah, we'll email you, you know. But all right, so I'm adding a few little more titanium white accent splashes right in here, like this, and kind of playing with this a little bit. And then there was something that now I'm in the titanium. There was something that kind of played around our leaves, remember? And it came this way. And then whoop, whoop. You got to do the sound effects, or how can you have a splash painting without sound effects? So let's make this a little whiter right there, and then like that. So now what you do is you take the purple color and the ultramarine blue, and you come in here and you punch holes in your little splashes. Okay, like that. Neat, huh? And the same thing up here. You're going to punch a couple
Can we
holes.
substitute frisbee golf? Absolutely.
Frisbee golf, sure. Well, we're not going to put golfers. At least I'm not. I'm just going to plant. You know, just show you a nice landscape with something that. I like bridges in golf. We'll have to find something cute with rocks and bridges and something.
Well, Gus has a great hole. I
Flowers.
think it's 7 or 8.
Oh, you actually have numbers for these things, and you know the stuff? I mean, wow.
You have numbers for these things. And can you imagine they want you to play them in a certain order?
Really?
How silly is that?
You sock
You
folders.
just can't go willy-nilly around the golf
You
course.
use sock folders. Just take all the fun out of it. You do. I need another.
my.
I need another.
Can Academy members download the 3 Apple lessons?
Sure. Can't they?
The first one's free. The other 2 will be a charge, but as an Academy member, you'll get a discount on them. But only the first one is a freebie for the first 500 people that claim it. I'm glad you asked.
Let's do a little bit of something right in here like this. Here, see, wiping, and then there's a little bit of a. Let's see. Nope, nope. Okay. When all else fails, pinch your brush.
And what do you mean by pinching your brush?
You squeeze it so that you put the blade back if you want something very skinny.
And again, paint on one side, right? Paint a little bit on one side.
Yeah. All right, so Somebody asked me about glazing earlier, remember?
Yes, I remember
And
that.
I think that, let me just show you a trick. I'm going to show you where glazing might be handy. I'm going to make this a little whiter, okay, like this, okay? Some of these just a little bit whiter. And then I'm going to take some magenta and come up and sneak up and make them skinnier. A little bit of red here. I'll make them skinnier. So I want the white, but I want it,
You want a skinny white.
I want skinny white like that, right? I'm going to dry that and I'm going to show you how to glaze it. Yeah? Isn't
Are we
that
going to come
kinda
back
cool?
to that and glaze that?
I'll have to come back to that and glaze
Okay.
that. You know, 'cause
We had a
like I say-
question here, which I think is an interesting question.
Oh yeah, let's see, what's that?
Would you please consider painting a pineapple? I'm not right there. Gail's asking. It's not me.
Gail, wait.
Get out of our studio.
Get out of town, darling. This is, if it's not the golf course, this is next week's lesson based on
Pineapple, strawberry, and a cherry on top.
A cherry on top, based on a Renoir, a painting done in the late 1800s, a Renoir pineapple and strawberries and a cherry. How cool is that? So yes, we will be having that on YouTube. It's either
Soon.
it's soon. It's going to be the next couple of weeks, and depending on when we schedule the golf course thing. All right, so there, I did that. I want a couple more of these. This is where your Posca pen comes in. For those of you, I know there's some of you out there that
Or new.
maybe your brush could be better. Maybe it wore out. Maybe you just don't have the hand-eye control that you had when you were 20. Or maybe you never had it. Doesn't really matter. Posca pens are very nice. You shake them up, punch them out. And so if you wanted to just do a little bit of something like that, if you weren't quite getting what you
want
wanted with the brush, you could, in theory, you know, just do a little of this with a Posca pen. I would say that there's a couple little holes here, like that. To me, it would be easier to just do the, you know, make the hole and then put the, here, to me, the easiest thing to do would be, where did that little brush go? Where is that little brush? Here, to me, the easiest thing if I want a hole is to just make the hole white, like this. Here, let's use titanium. Okay, wake up titanium. You'll notice that I probably out a lot more paint than you guys do. The other reason why they don't dry out. There's this one's skinning over, but they're not really drying out. All right, so I've got a few little holes here, like that, and then I can come back with red and do a dot in the middle when that dries or not. Let's see, let's use the back of the brush and do that. See? So, I mean, that's another little trick too you can do. All right, and I want this a little bit more white up here. Okay, and again, you saw what we do. If you get something that's too, if you don't like it and it's too fat, sneak under it with a little bit of red.
Skinny it up.
Skinny it up. So you can't really mess this up. You honestly cannot mess this up. All right, so what was I going to show somebody? Oh yeah, that we were going to glaze this. I have to dry that real quick, and I'll show you the last thing. We'll show you glazing trick, okay?
It's going to be real quick dry? I mean, real quick?
Like 5 minutes. Yeah, real
5
quick.
minutes?
3 seconds. 5
3
seconds.
seconds, go. Okay, so that's a ginger 3 second. Now you know, kind of matches her finger measurements. Just kind of getting this down.
That wasn't 3 seconds? You didn't think
Not
that
even
was?
close.
All right, so there's a couple ways you can glaze. You can use something like a satin glazing medium, or you can use water. If you're not trying to go too thin, you can use water. If you use too much water, your acrylics no longer bind, which is why you want glazing medium, which is like a polymer, pure polymer. So, or you can use water in small spots. It's not that big a deal. So what you do is you put a little water out on the canvas like this. And my little drops of water, take a tiny bit of paint and make like a watercolor liquid, right? Tap it, and I want to glaze over that that white. See? And just tint that back so it's not so bright. Now glazing liquid would allow me to, see if I've got that. Glazing liquid would be a slightly different in that, for instance, well, all right, so here's the glazing liquid in magenta. So it's the same thing. It's very, very thin. You see that like that, but it's not as thin as the water. Now let me show you what that would do. So that's a little bit.
Is it stronger?
It's a little stronger, but I can push those back a little bit if I wanted, or come under here like this and maybe glaze something. So somebody says, you know, when would you know to do that? Just whatever your feeling is about it. I mean, you can come up here, this little bit of, you know, light we put on there. We kind of lost some of that light, didn't we? Going up on the
It's when you need to push
strawberries.
things back.
Sometimes you just have to go back and put stuff back when you didn't quite get it. And again, this is where we started off with the mixing white, and now we're getting into the stronger whites with the. Sometimes you just want the door. Does that make sense?
Sometimes you want the door. I get it. Hey, which GAC would you recommend getting first? I'd recommend 100.
So that's that. To me, I would rather just use the. You know, I showed you the Posca pen, but for me, I would rather just use the brush. And if you can't get the thin line, then dry it and come back with some red and see what you can do, because it's very white around here. Like for instance, this area in here is very bright with the white, and if you weren't able to quite get it the way you wanted it, you can do this and then take the red and push the holes back out. Something like that, see? So you've got some options. You're not stuck doing something one way or the other. Yes and yes? And you can get as thin a line as you want doing that. So don't let this frustrate you. That's what I want to say. Don't get frustrated over the details. Now I'm going to use the back of my brush like this with some white, and I'm going to come back over here in a few places up here at the top, and I'm just going to dot in some white right like this, and maybe down in here in our splash I'll dot some white, and then put a little blue in the center.
I'm working on another giveaway, boss.
Oh boy, and then the last thing I think I want to do is I'm going to take some of the dark red color, and I want to go under this. I want to exaggerate this. I want to go under this with some dark and really exaggerate this that part, that bottom part of the splash. So if you haven't done that, you can do it again. You can, you know, kind of play with that a little bit, your lights and your darks. So pretty much, I would say we're pretty much good with all of this. Almost done here.
Oh, I got to get cranking then.
John's got to get giving away. I'll show you a few more things, but here's the mixing white and the phthalo blue now, and I want that to be very translucent. Just coming up here like this. This is where you put paint on your brush and wipe it all off. See that? And then I'm going to come up here on the strawberry like
Sandy
this.
Peck, you are a winner of a 1-credit downloadable lesson, my dear.
Wow, good for you, Sandy.
Now, people have been asking about the apple. We were talking about the giveaways. There are introductory apple that can be viewed on our website, gingercooklive.gallery, for free. There'll be 3 of them up there: introductory, intermediate, and proficient.
Yeah, just so you get an idea of, you know, people.
So you know what so you know how our academy works, what the lessons look like, etc., etc. But for right now, for the 500 people, I think there's a few dozen left that would like to go over to gingercookondemand.com and read about that lesson. You too have to sign up for the newsletter. Even if you've already signed up, you have to go through the procedure. you too will have the opportunity to get that lesson for free to download and own for your
You
own.
mean Vimeo?
No, to our website. Are you, who's talking? Who's talking?
But I thought you said YouTube would have that opportunity.
You too.
Oh.
You too.
Oh.
You people that are watching right now.
Oh.
Once it's filled up, that offer will go away. But right now, if you run over, you can get your own free downloadable lesson of the introductory apple
I'm going to make
to
this
call
a
your
little
very
skinnier.
own.
All right, you guys, this is
Let's do another one.
this is pretty much our
Keep entering if you still want to try to win something.
John will be giving away a few more things, and I'm going to show you a few more stuff, but this is basically our splash, and you see how we were able to do it, do you? Isn't it kind of cool how something like the difference between transparent white and mixing white works, and how you can make all, that you can just think about all the great things you can do. For instance, like clouds are a great thing to do with mixing white. But one of the lessons that we have on YouTube, which is one of our favorite ones on YouTube, these clouds were done with translucent whites, all right, either zinc and so forth. And you can see where the ocean was probably done with titanium. Can you look at a painting now and maybe guess? This was called, let's remember what this is called, John?
Let me see it.
This one. What do we call this painting? It's under oceans, under oceans water. It's a beach view. It's a romantic beach path or something.
Yeah.
That's what this is called. Next week for our academy, we've got. I'm going to show you this real quick while John's getting that. This is called Rock Garden, and this is a painting done impressionistic style. It's a great lesson on how to do rocks and flowers. And it goes with a lot of other lessons we've done in the past. One that we have similar to it as far as the technique goes on YouTube is this gazebo, and you can see where this painting could be part of this. Do you see how you can do this? I have probably about 15 lessons in our Art Academy that are done in this style, where you can have a cluster of them, and it's like your own little garden world. And then we've got
Let me announce Kathleen Pratt, winner of a 30-day membership.
Awesome, Kathleen.
With personal art coaching.
With personal art coaching. All right, Kathleen, that is awesome. Here again, here's another tutorial on flowers on our academy, where you can see this is called the garden house. And again, you can see where this could be some of the same world. Boy, there's just so many we could show you at this point that are similar, that are in the similar style. So I like to mention that we have both on YouTube and in the Academy things that where you paint and they're you can sort of interact. If you're looking for another lesson that might go with this, as far as if you were going to hang this in your kitchen, look for the watermelon and banana on YouTube. I think that would look really good with this one, the watermelon banana. And also we have one that's just a banana. So look for those, Ginger Cook Live. Those ones are both on YouTube, and I think they would be a nice painting to go with it. And then, of course, in the next week or two, I'm not sure when, we'll have the pineapple, which I think when you start a kitchen series, do 4 or 5 paintings of fruits and bananas and pineapples and strawberries and that kind of stuff. That can be very fun. And check out our kitchen series also on our website. So I hope everybody felt that they got a little further ahead tonight on how to do this. Do we have any questions I can answer at the very end, John, here?
Yeah, we're going to get Louise McLendon, McLendon, winner of a 1-credit downloadable lesson.
Ooh, and I'm going to just play on
that
this
will be our last one of those. We still have 30 days to go. To varnish this painting should be easy? Question mark.
Yeah, we've talked about varnishing. I like
make sure you give it plenty of time to dry for sure.
Yeah, varnish it the next day if you're not in a hurry. Varnish it the next day. And I really particularly like Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish. That is my favorite varnish. If you want it to be later matte, then you can put matte on top. Do the varnish first. Here, we're just going to play a little bit more here with a few of this, right? And just exaggerate this a little more, a couple places. While we're talking about, that's one of the things you want to do. And if you haven't joined our Facebook club, which is free, do it, because if you want to place it, everybody says, where can I show you my paintings? That's where you can show me what you've painted. And we've kind of, it's one of these things you can not only show us the tutorials from either our Academy or YouTube, if any of Cinnamon's paintings you like and you want to show us, and Cinnamon's also graciously allowed our artwork from YouTube and the Academy to be shown on her site, sort of exclusively, mother and daughter kind of thing. The other thing is that if you've done an original painting, or maybe something you were inspired to paint on Wednesdays and Saturdays in our Facebook club, you can do that. Who you got for another winner there, John?
I do. I have Teresa Phillips, winner of a 30-day membership to the Academy with personal art coaching.
Oh, Teresa, congratulations. That is awesome. So,
we have one more 30-day to give away.
All right. Well, thanks to the donations tonight, you guys are really making out. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate this very much, and pass it on to you. Let's see, was there anything else? Oh, yeah. We do, people have asked me where we get our brushes. And I have encouraged people to go to our favorite people. They don't sponsor us by any means, but the Brush Guys, which are a couple of senior citizens like John and I, have their own company they started together, these two guys, and they sell all kinds of brushes, the art stripper brushes and these silver brushes, but I mean almost every kind of brush there is. And if you use my name, Ginger Cook, as all one word, when you check out, regardless of what you bought on their site, you get a 5% discount, which I think is grand. I think it's really sweet they do that. And they also ship globally. And for a small fee, they ship globally, with a lot of the other companies do not.
Yeah, there's one that doesn't go international at all.
I would need to put a little bit of something right here, going up like that. I realized I didn't have that there. See how you can just, when you look at something, you can kind of see whether you should have done it. I want something to come up over the nose of this. There, like that. Just get more of a splash. I'm going to splash mine a bit more. Yeah, you know, Jerry's and Dick Blick, they don't sell out of the country.
Dick Blick, I think, does. Jerry's doesn't.
Jerry's doesn't, for sure. And anyway, so the Brush Guys are very reasonable about that. And recently, one of our members, this is adorable, one of our members, mother who's still painting in her 90s, for her birthday, they took her to meet the Brush Guys, and they took their picture, and they spent, you know, some time with them, and of course they sell my brush, you know, they know who Ginger is and Cinnamon, of course, and they said to say hi to both of us. Just really sweet men. Just
Vicky,
real people with a real company. That's what I say, you know. I love
not
it.
like us.
Well, no, but I mean,
we're in a what's those Disney things?
Animatronics?
Yeah, that's us.
No, what I mean by that, John, is that sometimes there's a corporation and there's no people behind it.
I hear you, sister. I hear you.
And, you know, if anybody hears you, good luck. Right?
Yeah.
So bring
Vicky
that up like
Prunty, winner of the last 30-day giveaway.
All right, you guys. So I want you to give this a try.
Dick Blick does ship to Canada, according to one of our Canadian fellows.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So this is our...
Thank you, everyone, for your donations this evening.
We hope you'll join us next week for another exciting episode in acrylic painting.
It's either going to be a golf course or a pineapple.
We don't know.
Or it could be a pineapple. We could do a golf course in Hawaii.
We'd have to go, and we have no time.
Darn.
Darn. Good thought, though. Good thought. Well... maybe somebody has a picture of a golf course and why they want to send us.
That's a pineapple.
All right. Maybe we could just have some pina coladas while we
think
painted
about
the golf course.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. something like that. I don't know. Is that not even the right thing?
Probably.
I don't know. Neither one of us drinks, so it's sort of hysterical. I even know that. All right. So hope you had a fun evening with us. Thank you very much for coming. If you have any more questions, email us, and maybe we'll answer your question on the show next week.
Speaking of questions, I had more questions, and they got buried.
Oh,
can I find them quickly or not?
We try what we can, but we can't always answer everything. We appreciate any likes. What was our group tonight?
I'm sorry, what?
What was our group tonight? We have a pretty good group tonight?
400 and change.
Well, thank you very much for coming.
For the 400 and change. Is there a substitute for CAD red light with a Holbein luminous red work?
I don't know, because I
don't
really don't know.
I think it's too bright.
You really, CAD red light and CAD yellow light, you really can't mix. You can add colors and you can kind of get close, but you can't really.
You don't have the richness.
Well, it's the pigment thing. It's like you can't really make dazzling purple. You can put blue and red together, but you will never get as bright a purple as dazzling purple. It's just one of those things.
Now, one last question, and this is probably one that's probably near and dear to your heart, because you're going to go ballistic on this one. How do you decide what size is best for a painting or a lesson? For an example, painting the Apple series of lessons on a 9x12 versus an 8x10. Or should I make it a square or a rectangle? What works best?
Well, it depends on the design.
And what's going to happen?
It really depends on the design, because if you start changing my lessons and make them square when I've designed them as a rectangle or try to make them a vertical, you've changed the design and you can really ruin the painting. So you've got to do a ratio. For instance, we decided to go 9x12 for those Apple paintings because I wanted you to have them big enough where you could really easily see them, what we were doing. And I think that we decided to do that on those. But generally speaking, we tell you, for instance, where's our little Venice piece? You got that somewhere, that one I'm working on for our Wave and Water? Before I design a giant painting, I do a little mock-up of a painting. Like, for instance, right here's a little painting I'm doing of Venice. And I started off with a little 8x10, but this is going to be an 18x24 painting when I'm done. But I got my design and lights and darks worked out.
Colors and
everything on a small painting. Because the time I spend on this will save me hours on a larger canvas. So a lot of times, and I'll start on a larger canvas. Small canvas, if it doesn't work, then I haven't wasted a lot of time either. If I find a design is just not working, not everything you come up with is brilliant. Not everything always works.
We have some canvases, some paintings that you'll never see light of day.
They just didn't work out. I mean, I had an idea, thought it would be good, and it wasn't so good. That's what happens to everybody. And so I think this came up the other day, and I think we should talk about this too, is that somebody said, well, I was working on this for a while, and then I put it away. If you're frustrated, put it away. Just put it away for a while, and then at some point ask yourself, am I ever going to do it? Why did I want the painting? You may have gotten very excited about painting something and then picked something that was above your skill level at the moment, and 3 months later it may not be. That's the other thing. But certain subjects are appealing to you for the time of the year, and then fall comes and then you don't want a summer thing. So you just sort of lost it. Maybe you'll pick it up again. I think this happens to everybody. You're not alone. I think if I get excited about something, I want to paint it that day. John and I talk about, we have a whole list of paintings we're going to do, and he says, I thought we were doing this painting. No, I'm not today.
Not in the mood.
Not in the mood to paint it. Because this mood happens sometimes, though we do paint every day. Hope that answers questions.
That was my last question of the evening.
Thank you, guys. I want you to have a wonderful day. And with that, we'll leave you this happy message. And be sure to like our video and subscribe to this channel if you have not.
Whoa, listen to you.
Absolutely.
Okay, not that one, this one. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye. Well, you guys, I don't think I can look at another commercial about how to unstop the toilet, or maybe you two can learn to draw that, we have to have those in our video in order to kind of cover some costs, but I thought it would be fun, as long as we were doing it, to put a commercial in for ourselves. So here's the commercial from me to you. I want you to have a wonderful day. I want you to be the artist you can be. I want you to get up in the morning and say, today's the day I'm going to be happier than I was yesterday. This is my commercial in wishing you the bestest, happiest day of your life. And art hugs from John and I.
I'm a student, I say with glee, of Ginger Cook's Academy. Take your time and do not rush. Use ruby satin, silver brush. Don't use black and mix the green. Learn what blend and grayscale mean. Yes, I hope each day to earn coaching praises as I learn. I'll be an artist, wait and see. Ginger means the world to me.